Your favorite foods may contain bits and pieces of dismembered creatures and their excrement. There can be up to 450 insect parts and 4 rodent hairs in a 16-ounce box of spaghetti. Canned citrus juices can legally have 5 or more fruit fly eggs per cup. And for every 4 ounces of mushrooms that you have in a can, there are about 20 or more maggots. The FDA says it is economically impractical to grow, harvest, or process raw products that are totally free of non-hazardous, naturally occurring food defects.
And that's whether you're vegan or vegetarian.
It doesn't even matter.
Jasmine Sanders, you're trying to tell me I've been eating fruit fly dookie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
More protein.
Yes.
And insect parts, all of that stuff.
Oh, but yeah, it's all great. What they say, Charlie? What is Indian Jay? You might know this. You're obviously Indian.
Are you saying that we eat fruit flies too?
Well, y'all don't eat beef, so it got to come from somewhere. What's the average human being? How many pounds of insects do they eat a year through their lifetime? I think it's like a couple of 100 pounds of insects that people consume.
From processed food, that sounds about right.
From processed food or just,
the stuff that Jasmine's talking about, that all sounds about right.
Well, if you think about it, processed food that comes from a factory, right? How clean do you think the factory is? If it's been in business for years, there are going to be bugs there. It's going to be excrement. It's going to be mice.
We used to
droppings,
grow
all
greens
that crap.
in our backyard, and we would soak the greens, and bugs would come out of the greens.
Of course.
Soak it.
Yeah.
So even if it's grown organically,
they're inside of it.
I got it right here.
What is it?
It says each person ingests about 2 pounds of flies, maggots, and other bugs per year.
2 pounds a year?
A year?
That's a lot.
So I'm saying over that course of their lifetime, it's a couple of 100 pounds.
Well, yeah, 2 pounds a year.
Yeah.
So multiply your
So multiply your age.
Yeah.
But
You
2
up-
pounds of insects.
You about
is
up
a
at
lot.
145, 150
Yeah,
pounds.
man, of course I am.
Yeah,
I can't. I should start drinking Raid.
He's about 2 pounds of bugs
Right, that's
here.
it.
Right.
But you can't. I mean, and you can't avoid it. Like,
It's impossible to avoid.
Nor should you.
It's impossible.
If we was in the wild, what do you think you'd be eating on your meat? On your just you gonna get some bugs?
whatever I
some
could
mess?
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a delicacy in some countries too.
Yeah.
A little roast
You
or
know,
something.
wherever that's a delicacy at, they don't have Chipotle. Whatever that is.
Exactly.
They don't have that.
Like,
So scientists have developed artificial blood in the laboratory that they claim could be transfused into patients regardless of their blood type. A team of Japanese experts created the blood complete with red blood cells, which carry oxygen and platelets, which trigger clotting when the skin is cut or grazed. Now, when tested on 10 rabbits with severe blood loss, 6 of them survived.
I can see why. 1, our blood supplies are low. 2, there's a lot of diseases that people don't disclose, or that like a lot of people initially got AIDS because from blood transfusions that nobody had any idea. There are a lot of bloodborne illnesses, and 2, the idea of compatibility is, I think we should the compatibility, and then there are people who are just opposed to taking, like a lot of religions won't take
Jehovah's
blood.
Witnesses.
So I think, and you notice that those advancements come from places. 2 things that other countries have that we don't, and we seem to have lost. We don't have the technological edge because we're held back by our religious ideology, like stem cells and all that stuff they wouldn't do under the Bush administration because people were so opposed to that for whatever religious dogma they ascribe to. And 2, we do things for money.
Right.
We're
That's probably
trying
the bigger thing.
Gotta make sense. Yeah.
Right.
That's
Like,
got to be the bigger thing.
Louis Pasteur, he didn't charge you for it. He gave
trying
it
to
away.
keep milk for
if
it.
it had been American, you'd be paying for that right now.
That's right.
Right.
No, I mean, I'm serious. You'd be
That's
like, he would have. They would have patented it. So their whole idea of why they do it is so different from ours. And stuff like this, where you know that people are getting injured and people need blood and
people are not donating blood.
I'm gonna find the cure for what pays.
Right. It really that's
It's pretty sad though.
like doctors here, they want to get rich.
Yeah. And even if they do create something that would help you, you can't afford it.
Right.
Or your
Right.
insurance won't cover it, or you don't have insurance to pay for it.
But look at who funds people doing the research. If you're a scientist, generally you work for a huge corporation,
company, yeah.
and that corporation owns whatever you invent or discover.
Yeah.
Whatever you end up discover, and they're not paying you like the president of that pharmaceutical said succinctly. We're not in it to cure. We're in it to make money. Like, remember they had that EpiPen thing,
Right.
and they wanted the EpiPens to go from, they were $20, then they went to $600. I think it was Joe Manchin's daughter. He was a Democratic senator from West Virginia. That tells you exactly. Like, to me, if you have peanut allergies, you have the EpiPen, it would make more sense to start making people more allergic to peanuts than it is to
Right.
like
You can push them
Right.
right. But all of a sudden you're gonna charge people because people will pay whatever they have to live or to not be in pain.
Feel better, rather.
They pay whatever they got to live or to not. And when you start taxing those kinds of things or putting high prices on those kinds of things, like even now, we should be having an argument about whether the Americans deserve a certain level of health care. We know that they do, because even if the poorer you are, the less access you have to health care, the more drain on the society you are. So
Right.
it behooves us to keep our society healthy as healthy as we can, and to make sure that they have the kind of early detection, early treatment that doesn't stop it, that stops it from being, when it blows over. But our gig is to make money and to have this like now people just your religious perspective stops me from being able. Like we're 10 years behind in stem cells because a bunch of people that sat around that went to church every day talking about we
What
can't.
Jesus
like
got
that.
to say about stem cells?
Right. Well, I don't know. He didn't have Kaiser. I don't know. I don't know. Jesus didn't need a medical plan. He could wake himself up. What are you talking about?
Vitamins, I can heal the dead. I can raise the dead.
Right. Well, if you could wake yourself up, you know what I'd be doing right now? I'd be mainlining heroin and walking across radiation as we speak. I would.
Put me in the ground. I'll be back.
Right? Hey, y'all, watch this.
Put me in the ground. I'll be back.
Right. Right. While I'm eating the pork chop sandwich. Are you crazy?
What the heck?
God, you guys are so crazy.
Shoot me. Go ahead. Watch.
So a man in Russia is suing Apple, claiming the iPhone pushed him towards homosexuality. The man says a cryptocurrency called Gaycoin was delivered via a smartphone app rather than the Bitcoin he actually ordered. The Gaycoin arrived with a message that said, "Don't judge until you try." So the man took the advice, slept with a man, and now he has a boyfriend.
Yeah, I think
He claims that the changes has caused him moral and mental health issues.
Yeah, Apple did that.
Is that real? Gay coin is
Yeah.
real? I've never even heard of that. What is
No,
that?
I told you to Google it. It's a real thing.
Wait, gay people have their own currency?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know anything about it.
Blame that on Apple. No, that's because he likes Adam's apple.
Ellen for president. Jesus Christ.